Charlie. C.
How my best brings out the best in others. 67, 34, 59, 50. My back was against the cold blue plastic chair, and my elbows pressed against the top of the gray table. My eyes were reading those numbers, my students' grades. It was the first week of my internship. Of course, I was not content. I felt flustered and even betrayed. However, it was in this moment where I realized exactly how my best brings out the best in others. You may be asking yourselves, how can something so devastating lead to such a wonderful realization? Well, I ask you, is it not possible for a rainbow to appear after a rainstorm? My life is a soup filled with distinct moments or ingredients, some sweet and some salty, that work together to produce a magical taste, the taste of my best self. That day when I was grading papers, I realized something else. My best self becomes my worst self if I use my gifts for my own benefit. Every day I leave my high school and go to a K-8 school where I volunteer as a teacher's intern. There, I consider myself to have a special power that enables me to get the best out of all of my students. And that power is the decision to live a life of service. And when I was writing this speech, I was able to recall the moment when I realized my calling to live a life of service to bring out the best in my students. It was the first day of internship, and I was giddy and very nervous. I hesitantly walked down the long hallways, prepping myself before I entered the classroom. You can do this, I told myself. You can make a difference. And I did. I made subtle differences by grading papers and helping students with their worksheets. And after about the third week of rotating around the classroom, something miraculous occurred. The teacher asked me if I would like to lead a lesson. I was thrilled. I immediately began putting together lesson plans, imagining my students enchanted with the beautiful art of learning. I put my best into making this lesson the greatest lesson in the whole entire world. And when I taught my lesson, I couldn't believe my eyes. The students were dramatically waving their hands in the air to answer a question, excitingly collaborating with their peers, and immersing themselves in trying to solve the answers to the math problems. The teacher told me I did wonderful. I had to take a moment, step back, and just look at them. It was like seeing a rainbow for the first time. And it would not be a stretch if I told you that this moment was the best moment in my entire life. I put my best into that lesson, and I got the best out of the students. Suddenly, I became a sponge. I absorbed the innovative teaching strategies I learned. I became a form of transportation. I transported what I learned from that internship to my next. I became a magician. The class that I interned in, where I would teach a majority of the lessons, showed the most growth in the entire 5th grade. My best is wiping tears off a child who had a hard day so she can focus on her math. My best is waking up at 7 a.m. on a Saturday morning to teach fractions to a weekend tutorial. My best is high-fiving the student for getting the answer correct, even if he got the first 10 wrong. My best is textbooks, smartboards, differentiated instruction, flexible grouping, an enthusiastic wave whenever a student tells me hi from across the hallway. My best motivates my students to inspire, show remarkable growth, and give lots of hugs. And that is how my best brings out the best in others.